ask them. The first question is, do you agree with the characterization of the border as an invasion, given that this type of rhetoric from the previous president inspired a supporter of his to echo that characterization and led to him to drive to El Paso, where he murdered 23 people because he believed he was saving America from an invasion? Do you think that would cause any problems here in our county, being so close to the border?
Well, for problems in our county, the deal is these people coming over, I don't know if it's an invasion, but my deal is if they were to do it right, seek the political asylum correctly, we don't know who's actually coming across this border right now. The only thing is I can say is our county, we don't live in Maverick, Webb County, that we're right aboard on the river. I'm glad that we don't experience that here. That's something that we're not seeing, so that's really hard to say if it's an invasion or not. It's just, if they would come out, do the proper, I'm pretty sure if they apply for the asylum, do it the right way. Right now, we don't know who it is coming over, but it's something really that I'm glad that we're not dealing here in our county up here. We have other than the human trafficking, human smuggling of vehicles, but something really, it's hard to answer that question because it's not happening in our county.
Like I said before, with 25 years of service to the Border Patrol, I do not believe we would have an invasion to that. Okay, I believe some of these folks are good, hardworking people that are trying to better their lives. There's solutions to these problems. We just need to work together and respect one another and listen to each other so we can provide better services to the community that are being affected by this as well. There's a legal path to everything, and there's a right way and a wrong way of doing it, okay? But at the end of the day, we are here to help one another. We're all humans, so we gotta humanize this as well. We have we do have a problem going on right now at the border, and it's a shame that it's gotten to be political right now. And if elected sheriff, I'm gonna work with all stakeholders so we can provide a safe environment for our community, because that's what I would be concerned with, providing a safe environment, take care of your property, and get these people the services that they require as well if they're coming to our area. Work with NGOs in the community so we can house these folks and they're not out going transiting to our area, okay? We need to provide all these services and listen to our community leaders and as well as our federal and state officials, okay? If we work as a team and we put our heads together, we can accomplish great things. But we need to respect one another and put our heads together for the better of us, the citizens.
Okay, the next question came through email. As the sheriff, what are your plans to do to hold not only the citizens accountable for violations of the law, but your own deputies and other emergency response personnel while they're not on call? Example, traffic violations.
Coming from traffic violations, I mean, the citizens, of course, we've had some that they've gotten citations, speeding, breaking the laws. We've got to uphold the laws, enforce the laws. Now, when it comes to deputies, you want to expect for your deputies, not only us, but federal, state, DPS to follow the law and obey the laws also. I mean, if you do have one of our deputies that's breaking the laws constantly, you want to address it or, let them go. Unfortunately, because we are not above the laws. I've got pulled over. If I get a citation, that's something that I did wrong. That's why I know, we're going to be able to. You want to enforce it, you got to make sure you follow the law also. That's what I go from all my officers. You want to be sure that, right now I haven't had that for violations, speeding violations, but if it was to become an issue, it would be addressed properly. I mean, not only with us, I mean, even with Border Patrol, because we all have a job to do, so we want to do that job fairly.
Thank you, sir. What I would do to have proactive measures so we can policies and procedures in place so everyone can understand them, and we will lead because we need to lead by example. If my officers are going out there and doing all these violations, then the public is not being respected, okay? We need to set the bar high. We need to have policies and procedures in place and make sure that everyone understands them so we can focus on getting better and better serving the community. Policies and procedures have a strong background in that at the national level when I was with Border Patrol. So I believe by implementing policies and procedures, working with the county attorney's office so we can make sure that we are doing the right thing, okay? And not just my way, but working with all community stakeholders at the county level and the city level as well. Putting our heads together, put policies in place, and leading by example with transparency. How am I going to accomplish that? By putting body-worn cameras on all of our officers so we can do the right thing. And again, it will help us with our caseload so we can have successful prosecutions. But most importantly, keep everyone in check. It's checks and balances, okay? It can go either way. But it's not there to be an intimidation factor. It's there for transparency. And it's something that's been overdue here right now. So that's how I would handle it. Good policies and procedures, sir.
What are some of the duties of this position that voters might not know about, and what makes you the right person for the job?
Part of the duties is getting your training, getting your license, carrying that commission. We got duties, a lot of voters don't know, we just had a jail inspection not too long ago, surprise jail inspection, we passed it, we got to run that jail, make sure we're up to our percentage with our cases. August 31st, we got to be 90% where our cases will be available for grants. That's one deal, we're at that percentage, anything, it's not just being the sheriff up there. I mean, there's a lot of issues that we got to deal with on a daily basis on running that sheriff's office. Not only that, the jail, but I mean, I feel that when I started in 1991, working as a jailer, dispatcher, becoming a deputy, I have over 33 years experience also. I've worked under different administrations that have taught me how to be, this role model. I believe I'm available for this. I can do this. I've been running it for the past 8 months, and we're up to where we got to be up here. Even with Hugo Garza, we've worked together back in 95, 93. Back then, we were a 9-person department. It was 10 of us with the sheriff, and we learned how to work it. One per shift, one officer per shift. We had each other's back. We covered for each other. Border Patrol was our cover. So being from a small department back then to right now, what we're up to, 32 officers, it's changed a lot. Even with that, we can still say we don't have enough officers. We have the officer coverage, but a lot of times we got some on transports. Other duties we're doing, but right now, I feel that my years' experience has prepared me for this, and right now I'm able to run it right now, so it's a good job right now. Anything else, I enjoy this.
Being the sheriff of Dimmit County or Rainy County, you wear a big hat, and you have to be a strong administrator because you not only got to run the patrol division, your confinement division, but as well as investigations. You have to have an excellent working relationship with Commissioner Sport so you can get the tools and training that you require so we can better serve the community. Having transparency by having regular meetings with the citizens of Dimmit County, with your neighborhoods, with the townships, and getting to know what your concerns are so we can better focus and so I can deploy my resources to better serve you. Identify those problems, be proactive instead of reactive. We've had that for way too long now. Training, professional development, we have to up our game on that. Again, like I said, having a strong working relationship with all stakeholders within our communities at the local government and county government levels, state and federal, will make us a better place.
I'm going to ask one more from here, and then we'll move on to if anyone has any public questions here locally, and then I'll come back to the list. This next question is about community positive interaction. Would you consider, if staffing allowed, assigning deputies to patrol specific neighborhoods on a minimum of 3-month rotation spaces to get to know the residents? Would you ask positive interaction with the residents while patrolling, either in their vehicles with windows down, if the vehicle has dark tinted windows, or on foot?
On assigning the deputies for 3 months to any one area, it's something we've tried before in the past. It's hard. We do transport. We go out of state. We go pick up inmates. We sometimes do commitments to mental health. We have to transport, so that might leave us with 1 or 2 officers per shift if we're working. We do encourage them to hit the streets, neighborhoods. At nights, I do talk to my deputies, roll your windows down. That's where you're going to listen. My sheriff back then that I worked for, Dianda, made us patrol at nights with our windows down. That's when you could hear, even park somewhere. You see the neighborhoods, foot patrol. We used to do foot patrols the downtown area. It worked great. You know, I'm not sure. Maybe we could start it. What would be hard for a foot patrol in the communities, in the neighborhoods, is if we get a call, you got to go back to wherever your vehicle's at. We don't have enough patrol for that. So I mean, you got to jump in your vehicle, go to it. But something that would work good. I mean, I'm glad they asked me these questions because it's something that we could try to work together. You know, I mean, maybe a bike patrol also would work something on it. You know, just help improve the neighborhoods. But it's something I would look into that. We could do that.
My plan of action calls for community policing, folks. I believe in community policing. It's a program that's been around for a super long time. However, how I will accomplish that is by deploying my resources and having the right personnel within the patrol division and the other divisions so we can better serve the community. I cannot have a weak patrol division to go through those problems. We need to have a very strong patrol division and teach them it, and again, professional training, have a strong field training unit to teach the young kids coming out of the academy, because at the academy you only learn so much. It is up to us within the department to teach these kids on how to be a good patrolman, on how to get out there and make those contacts and make those friendships so that you can build that community trust. How are we going to accomplish that? By deploying our resources and having a good plan of action.
Are there any questions from the audience of anyone here present that would like to ask a question that we haven't already asked? Sure.
I have a question concerning school safety. What is your strategic plan, or is there one already in place to address school safety?
Let's do it.
Okay, my plan of action is to be heavily involved within the school district, work hand in hand with the school district police department, and having the experience as the chief of police for the school district, I know what their needs are. I know what is required by the state mandates that are being put down, and we need resources to help them. Unfortunately, the school district can only do so much, but by us being more proactive and again having a strong patrol division, using our staff and putting them in the right places so we can better serve the community. Folks, I am heavily invested in the school district. My wife works there. My girls went to school there when the Uvalde incident occurred, okay? My family, my sister-in-laws, my nephews and nieces work there. So all of your kids, they deserve better. And what I want to do, if elected and given the opportunity, I am going to be heavily involved with my officers, and they will be going to classes to schools, be assigned to schools so they can be there and rotate them out on a quarterly basis so they can get to know these kids, know the teachers, know the staff, so we can have those friendships and developments so these kids can feel safe. And as they're growing up and they see you going out from elementary to CSI, junior high, and high school, they will feel comfortable coming up to a uniformed officer and giving us, hey, something's going on over here, whatever the case may be. But by being proactive again and a high presence in our schools, we can deter and detect a lot of things and prevent them from occurring. Again, by being proactive, working with our school officials so we can be better prepared. I know that school already has a great plan of action, their emergency operations plan, which we put in place when I was there last year. We worked with all of the local law enforcement around here, from federal, state, and local, to include EMS as well as the hospital. So everyone knows what they need to do and where they need to report to, okay? But that is a life plan. It's always changing, and we need to keep up with the plan by meeting frequently together. We need to work on it on a yearly basis so we can update it and make sure that everyone understands their roles and responsibilities, know where they need to report. I have extensive experience in emergency management, and we need to identify where the incident command will be and all those good things, okay? But working together and implementing what is best for the community so we know what our capabilities are and identify them, and if we don't have them, so we can work on getting those resources to keep the school safe. Thank you.
Going back to the school safety, last year, each county less than 500,000 is mandated, the sheriff department is mandated to have a school safe hosted meeting. We had ours December 21st. It's a great experience with the school district. We've been working with the school on theirs. We're able to do walkthroughs with each campus, put our input, Border Patrol, troopers, rangers, what can be improved? There are certain areas in that school district we walk through that the radios don't work. Right now, Middle Rio Grande has a grant and they're gonna give the radios first to the school districts. Those radios are gonna work off of Wi-Fi, internet, and outside regular towers. So if you're in Carrizo Springs, you go to San Antonio, say with a school bus, that radio's gonna be able to work. We've addressed a lot of issues right now that need to be implemented, corrected, but we have a great working relationship with our school district right now, with our chief of police. That's one deal we're continuing. We're trying to set up another meeting. The school has to have one, we'll have one after them, but we do have that in place right now that's, I think it's gonna be a great working experience where everybody learns it. I mean, some of these new deputies have never been to these schools. They're not from the area. They've never been here. Unfortunately, I've had the opportunity. I've walked each campus. You know, Mr. Garza, you know, he was there, the chief of police. Having that great relationship with each campus, you know, put us in the right direction to help the kids on that, prevent anything from happening. So again, you know, that's my deal with policy working. It would be great.
We'll go back to the list and then another public question, if we have any. This was at the bottom of the first page. Would you allow elected officials to pressure you into making certain decisions in order to benefit you personally? If an elected official did, would you publicly denounce that?
Having an elected official, no, I wouldn't allow it. I was put in this position and I want to run the department the way I should run the department. I'm not going to have any political, any candidate, or not a candidate, but an elected official. I'm not going to have them come and try to tell me how to run my department, how to do our jobs. I was hired as, same thing as a city manager. I was able to run that department. I never had the issue where any of the city councilmen came over, wanted me to run that department, you know, certain ways. Same thing right now with the county as sheriff. I'm able to run this department. I do have a real good working relationship with the county judge, with the commissioner's court, but I've never been pressured by anyone to come up here and run this department a certain way. I mean, that probably wouldn't have friends right now. But thank you.
The answer to that is no. It will never happen under my watch. I'm here to serve you, the citizens of Dimmit County, and I will not be pressured to do something that I'm not supposed to be doing or to look the other way. I'm here, I'm going to serve everyone with a genuine concern, and I will respect everybody's rights. I will not violate your rights, and neither will my staff. We will work together and focus on issues that are there that need to be fixed, but at the same time, working with everyone, all the stakeholders again, at the county level, at the city level. And if we have that common respect for one another, we can accomplish great things. But no, no one will ever tell me how to run my department or to look the other way.
Another question from the public.
My question is, how is it that we can bring more deputies or more officers into our community because of the fact that I know we're, minimized by the patrolmen and the deputies that we have, and I know that the marshals are limited to certain areas, and I don't know their deal with that, but I do want to know how you would bring more deputies into, if it's possible. That's my question.
One of the things that I would do is I would require reserve deputies that are working for the department and we're carrying their licenses to come and help. We're not just going to carry your license and you're not going to give anything back in return. We need to have that understanding and have an MOU so everyone understands what we need to do. On the other hand, also there are grants out there so we can get, for example, school resource officers that they can come and work. They might be temporary, but at least it's a quick fix on a big band-aid, right? But working together again, using my resources and deploying them correctly, that will alleviate some of those issues right there, sir. Thank you.
Going back also with that, reserves, we do have a number of reserves that do help us out here, but to bring more personnel would take more money, more cooperation from the Commissioners Court, if they would increase that budget, allow us to bring more personnel up here to have that extra patrol. Right now, we did apply, before I came in, I know they applied for the Operation Lone Star grant. We did get vehicles from them, but they didn't give us for overtime. We were hoping to get money where we could pay part-timers. I'm looking right now into this, see if maybe next budget, we could try to at least get some part-timers so that these are out here can be paid for what they're doing. So I think that would help a lot too, get some part-time help. Be more patrol to the communities.
Anytime a newly elected official takes office, they get to pick their staff that works for their department. What are your thoughts on retention of deputies and staff from the previous office holder? How would you evaluate whether or not they remain on the job? And should current deputies be concerned about political retaliation for having any relation to your opponent?
Answer to that, right now, I was appointed here, and about everybody in my department is from the previous administration. I would keep the same personnel. I mean, even if I get elected again, I'm still keeping the same personnel. They're the ones running the department. Now, if they're not doing their jobs or something, that's where you're going to have issues with them. One of my deputies, his family running here, I have him with me. He's working. He's a great officer. I have no reason to get rid of him. I was one of those personnel. I ran against the former sheriff. When I resigned from the city at the time, I didn't have a job. He offered me a job. I came and worked for him. So, I'm still open for that. We all live in the same place. We all know each other. So there's no reason to be upset. Win or lose, why are we going to, hold grudges against each other? So mine, I'm for it. I'm keeping my personnel. I've had the same personnel. Some might go to another job. I got one deputy right now is applying for DPS, and I'm hoping that they get it, go in, continue. They're young, they need that. So anything, I was hoping to hire Mr. Garza also with my department time, have him here. He's a great asset also to have for this department. So, I'm open for it. Anything up here, I'm working with everybody. I won't hold any grudges, and I don't retaliate against anybody on it. So, I have an open door policy with this department, so I'm working with everybody.
The answer to that question is no. We have great personnel within the department. What we are lacking is better training. So what I would do is reallocate some of those resources, and if the people need to be retrained a little bit, we will retrain them. How am I going to accomplish that? By having a strong field training unit. Professional development, that's what these kids need. A good, strong, well-seasoned veteran deputy that can go out there and teach them the ropes. So they can do that community policing, okay? Develop those contacts and just gain the favor of the public. The only thing that I will do if elected sheriff is that I'm going to realign personnel so I can have a strong administration that they can see my focus, what I want to accomplish, but I will lead by example. I will work hard each and every day for you, the citizens of Dimmit County, and by that I mean I'm going to be available 24/7. I'm not going to be here just during election time. I'm going to be here every day for you and work hard and lead by example so my staff can see that I'm working that hard and encourage them to challenge me to work even harder. That's how. Thank you.
If you're watching and you think your question hasn't been asked, there's quite a few questions that tackle the same issue. So I'm just trying to narrow it down to one that addresses all the situations. This next question is, our community has dealt with both the immigration situation as well as with a mass shooting at our neighboring community in Uvalde. In your opinion, if you had to prioritize, which situation would be on top? Immigration situation or preventing a mass shooting? Don't say both.
Having to prioritize this would be in mass shootings. This one thing, immigration, we don't live right along the border up here, but mass shootings can happen anywhere. It can happen here. It can happen, it happened in Uvalde. Nobody knows. One year we had our first bank robbery here. Everybody says, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen, but my priority would be that mass shootings, because you want to protect the people. Having trainings, we're having a situated behavioral training coming up. I encourage businesses, school districts are going to go, anyone that comes to it, to help prepare for something like this. You can train the person, they're going to know what to do in case this ever comes. That's mine. That'd be my priority on that.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
On this issue, I concur with Chris. Mass shootings. While Chief of Police for the school district, I was able to obtain excellent training for free from the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Artesia, New Mexico, as we were mandated to take active shooter training. And after the Uvalde incident, everything was taken, everything was booked. Of course, there are bigger school districts out there and they had priority. They came down, we trained not only the police staff, but also the sheriff's office and our neighbors in Zavala, the marshal's office, and some of the hospital staff as well. Again, having those liaisons and working with people and having what I just said earlier, having a great emergency operational plan will make sure that we can try to deter and detect these things before they occur. Well-trained department, that they are good with tactics and they feel confident in their shooting skill sets. That's what it's all about. How will we accomplish that? By training hard and giving them the skill sets that they require and the confidence so they can serve you better.
This question is, would you enforce SB 4, which allows for legal discrimination and basically racial profiling of civilians that live in our community, that allows all law enforcement to be able to apprehend and question anybody and send them to the border, which is a very controversial bill that just passed, and we're hoping that the federal government will step in and overrule that.
Senate Bill 4, which allows March 1st, any officer, peace officer, state of Texas to arrest any illegal immigrant. That's one of the bills a lot of the sheriffs are against. We don't have the resources to arrest immigrants, bring them to our jails. They have to be magistrated. Then we would be responsible to take them back to the border and deport them. Our priority would be here in town. We got enough, our local crime and enough patrol here. It's going to take away from us. We have a lot of sheriffs that we're against, and I'm against that, because I don't have the resources to prosecute and transport up here. I feel that's still part of the Border Patrol we can turn over to them. Have that, it's no way it's gonna help. I mean, it's gonna put a burden on each county. There's gonna be extra money to spend that we don't have in our budget. We're not budgeting for that.
We do have a crisis going on right now at the border, and it's because it's for political reasons, okay? I feel that we already get grant money to work, assist Border Patrol under the Stone Garden funds. The Sheriff's Department right now, they do a wonderful job in going out there and interdicting some of these smuggling loads, okay? But right now what's going on in the border, and as a 25-year veteran of the Border Patrol, these issues have been going on forever, and nothing has ever been accomplished. Why? Because we've lost our way. This is my personal thought. We've lost our way and we don't respect one another. We're not being human. That's just my thought, okay? But what we need to do is work with our elected officials at the state level and our representatives, our congressmen, and have those conversations so we can better ourselves and create a pathway to legal citizenship. That's why we're having these issues right now. No other reason. My job as the sheriff of Dimmit County would be to protect your personal property and your safety. So I would work again with NGOs, non-government organizations. So if they are coming to our area, and it's happened in the past, that we have a place for them, and they're not running out their free within our neighborhoods. We work hard, identify these issues, work hand in hand with Border Patrol, which we do, and with the state level as well, because we are all in it for the same reasons, but they're making it political, and for me, it's a hard pill to swallow as well.
Are there any questions from the audience? I think we've exhausted our questions that came in. If there's anybody that you know that submitted questions that didn't get them on the list, there was a lot of emails and stuff posted on Facebook. I try to get all the emails, but stuff on Facebook, they're all over the place. I don't know if I rounded them all up. But yeah, it's great to have both candidates discuss with us what's on their mind about these certain issues. Community service is one of their top priorities. Their priority is Dimmit County, and that's really reassuring because there's a lot of stuff that, again, is political from the state level, state interference in our county, trying to tell us how to run things. We're going to defund you if you don't do what I say. But it's very confident. I'm very confident in both of them that they said, we support Dimmit County, and we're going to do the best for Dimmit County. So if there's no other questions, I just want to ask all of you to give both the candidates who came up here to talk a big round of applause because it takes a lot to do that.
Thank you guys so much. I wanted to also point out, did we open the floor for questions from anybody?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. All right, sorry, I was a little bit busy. Thank y'all guys so much for coming out. Like I said, hopefully this is the first of many events that I can help contribute to planning. But thank y'all guys for showing up and coming out, and we greatly appreciate it. And hopefully these questions that were asked help you a little bit more decide, on who to choose for sheriff, because it is an important decision. But like I said before, I feel wholeheartedly that no matter who takes a position, I can see the heart for reason. I can see it, I can see the servant's heart in y'all guys, and thank you guys so much for doing this to educate people as well, to try to encourage those to go out and vote. Thank you guys so much. Yes.
Yeah, we also have some registration cards. If you haven't registered, we've got it here. Don't forget, early voting starts on the 20th of February. That's a Tuesday, and it goes all the way to Friday till noon at the historic courthouse. Remember, it's the historic courthouse this year, so don't go to the new one, especially if you're an elderly voter who has trouble getting in and out of your vehicle. We do have curbside voting, but yes, go to the historic courthouse on 5th Street. Thank you.